What's up, BookTube? Back with another weekly update, and we are 7 days into March, and you want to know something? I didn't just finish one, I finished 2 books. I deserve that golden star sticker. I deserve that ice cream. I deserve that pat on the back. I deserve that because I am 7 days in a whole week, and I have finished 2 books. And I feel like I've accomplished something when it comes to Dungeon Crawler Crawl. I am 5 books in. I have flown through this series. Um, and I'm still enjoying my time with it. I really am. Even though this wasn't my favorite book by any stretch of the imagination, I have enjoyed my time. But I am very proud of myself that I got through those 7 days. And now let's see if I can finish another book, which I think I'm almost done with one more. I might get 3 to 4 books finished overall. Highly doubt I'll get a 5th book finished. I might get it finished. But I'm not here to talk about those other books today. I really want to focus on just talking about Dungeon Crawler Crawl and Here Be Dragons. Mainly Dungeon Crawler Crawl. Because let's face it, that's what we're here for, is Dungeon Crawler Crawl. Now, as far as the Butcher's Masquerade is, interesting concept. If there's a pro to it, it's a very interesting concept. You have, they've fallen into a world where that you have the players being hunted. And then you've got the intrigue of these different corporations and just how they fit in and how these hunters fit in with them and how they get paid to, to kill more players and things along those lines. Like, there's a big kind of intrigue when it comes to that. But the problem with that is it was a little bit underwhelming in my personal mind. But I won't go overall to what I think overall. Let's just start with what I do enjoy. Carl and Donut work great together. Miss Katia, a part of the party, but overall, I mean, let's face it. You can't get more real when it comes to the conversation and the caring aspect between a talking cat and a man in his boxers than what you can in this. That's still really rich, and it still feels very unique, and it still feels very genuine. And I do actually enjoy that. Now, did I hate sometimes that Donut? It kind of gets a little bit repetitive in this because you kind of already know where she's going. Yes, but if you like the idea of Carl growing as a character, you will like this book. You will like this book because I feel like Carl is taking on a different role than what he was before. This isn't about surviving. This is almost revenge and breaking them before they break him. He uses that phrase throughout this book, is "you will not break me. You will not break me." It's a big deal in this book. It really is to him, because that's where he's at. He's at the point where he's lost so many people. He's about to break, and he's trying his hardest to stay together, not just for himself, but for Donut and for the players around him. Because right now he's at the top of the leaderboards in a lot of ways. Everyone knows his name. He's able to help characters with his standings. So, if he dies, it's a big deal. So, and it will hurt a lot of people, not just Donut and Katia. It'll hurt a lot of people, other players in this. So, he's got a lot on his plate. And if you enjoy the growth aspect of it, of him as a character, I think you will really, truly enjoy this book. If you enjoy the aspect that the world is becoming less chaotic and more really just character driven, you will enjoy this book a lot more. Overall, I guess you can say that it has very strong momentum. It is moving this forward in a direction that, while it's not the way I particularly want it to, I do understand where Matt Dinniman is coming from about moving it into this more chaotic to more, um, how do I put it? Uh, Less chaotic and more um, revenge oriented, serious oriented kind of story. And that's kind of where we're at, which is so crazy to say because, like I said, we're talking about talking goats and praying mantises that are after you and a talking cat and a man in his boxers. But it's also, but this book takes on um, a very serious tone compared to the previous ones, in my personal opinion. I feel like that is just a preference at that point, whether or not you think that's a good or bad thing. Now, overall, as far as the factions are concerned, I feel like the factions have added depth to this world. I do get intrigued by the faction war things that's going on. I like how it's messing with the AI and how the AI has become a little bit more unreliable. I enjoyed that aspect of it. I cannot wait till we get in later books where that we get um, more aspects of it and get to learn more and really get fully in depth with that. There's a serious aspect of it that I think would be intriguing to me is that aspect of it. So that I am truly looking forward to. Now, as far as the things that I absolutely hated, um, it can be a little bit overloaded. It can be a little bit overloaded. I am 5 books into this, and I have read these books really quickly. Like, I've started book 1 just a few months ago, and I'm already at book 5. So I am reading this at a very, very, very fast pace compared to what I've read in most series. And there's still some of these side characters. While some of them are like, no, like Batista and, some of these others, you kind of get a good feel for, who they are. Um, there's still some of them that I'm just like, okay, who is this person again and why should I care? Like, I kind of feel that way with a lot of them. Um, I don't like that aspect. I feel like we're getting too many people in this story. This story was better when it was contained between Donut and Carl, and maybe Katia. Besides that, we're getting a little bit too expanded in the world and expanded with characters that I kind of feel like I'm spending time with characters that I really don't care about. Prepotente is a very good example of one. I don't care about that story. I really, truly don't. That might be exciting for other people, but I just personally don't care about his character, and I don't care about his suffering and pain in this either. Like, it did hit me hard. It doesn't make me want to move forward with that specific character. That's the way I am with a lot of the side characters. Now, as far as the constant escalation goes, oh, that was a tongue twister. As far as that goes, we don't get a lot of we get a lot of inner dialogue, but it's taking place during the action. We don't get a lot of time where we're just like, all right, what is going on? What are we going to do on this one? That's to me a little bit of a problem. Like, the inner dialogue needs to be in when they're taking their breath, like they're relaxing, they're trying to figure out some things. This is more like there's hunters in this world, they're hunting players, we got to hunt them first. That's how this basically turned out. And that leads me to my next point is the hunters were very disappointing. They were very, very, very disappointing in this. So disappointing. Because I thought we were going to get these hunters and they were going to have all this high-tech stuff. And it really started off that way. Like, it started off like, oh my goodness, what is going to happen? Like, you get Carl, not to give anything away, but like at the very beginning of this book, he gets in some serious trouble. and through hunters. And then after that, it's just like, no, they turned out to be incredibly weak. And not even halfway through this, the players start hunting the hunters. And the hunters just, there's no hunter that stands out. There's no hunter that makes me care about, them as the evil villains. If anything, there's a part of it where that they try and make you feel bad for the hunters, and but they just are so weak and meek in this story that it really bothered me. It really bothered me, and I felt like it was a wasted opportunity. Now, as far as the emotional beats concerned, um, there wasn't a lot of emotional beats when it come to this. I did not actually care about the deaths that happened in this. There was no moment where I felt like a character that I truly cared about was in danger. And that's just the way it was. It just felt like it wasn't. I felt like the characters were not in danger in the regard of it, almost kind of like they had plot armor. And so I knew the ones I cared about were going to be okay. They have to be okay because they're I've seen the covers for the next book. I know who's in those. So that's kind of the way I felt towards that overall. I also did not enjoy Katia being a part of the group, but then not a part of the group. I feel like she works better when she's a part of the group when it comes to her and Carl and Donut. I like them as a group. So overall, I kind of felt like that was a missing aspect of it. And another part of it was, even as much as I love Donut, and she's one of my favorite characters of all time, I feel like a lot of her story is very repetitive. Like, you kind of know what she's going to do. When something comes up, you're like, she's going to do this, this, and this. You shouldn't have to do this. She's better. She's better as a wild card. She's better as a wild card. That is where I personally feel like she belongs. But when you're literally starting to recognize what she's going to do, you're going in a bad direction. And another thing, as far as bad directions goes, okay, I didn't really like the Lucy and Mar aspect of it. I thought Vra could have been a really cool, crazy character, and for like a split second there, she really was, and she had a great motivation for going after Carl and Donut, and that was kind of thrown away. I feel like the same thing with Lucy and Mar. I don't like where they're going with the direction of that character. And as far as, these other ones, like when you had the Imogen and the Signet Butcher's Masquerade storyline, that was a dud for me. That was a huge dud. Like, I mean, I thought we were going to get to that at like the very end of the book. But we go a bunch of chapters inside the Butcher's Masquerade. And the Butcher's Masquerade was so much of a letdown in my eyes. It was so much of a letdown. I didn't really see why a lot of things even had to occur. And then it's like you get through it, and then you get in this aspect, you think, all right, we're at the end here. They're going to go through some kind of this let down. I mean, not let down, but this, whether they get to catch their breath, and then they go into like this boss battle, and I'm just like, crap, what is this? And this boss battle is worse than anything we've seen before, and I'm just kind of like, maybe we didn't need that. Like, we really truly did not need that extra oomph to it. It's like the new Batman movie, after he catches the Riddler, and then you've got another hour to go after that. Like, maybe you didn't need that extra part because it didn't really add any flavor to things. I kind of felt like that when it come to that. I did not like Imogen at all. I did not like the Signet storyline. I was glad for that to end and be over with. Those are terrible characters in my eyes. Those are terrible characters. Did not enjoy the care. Did not care whether or not they lived or died. Um, I did not like the aspect of the Butcher's Masquerade inside of this book, which was a letdown because I thought this was going to be, man, you're going to have the hunters and you're going to have the the players, and they're all going to be in this like tense thing, and who's going to explode, and what's going to be the thing, and it was just a letdown. It was a letdown for me. So where would I basically have ranked this book? This is probably about a 3-star for me. 3-star to 3.5 stars. That's where I'm leaning towards this book. It's not bad, but it's not good. It's one of the weaker ones of this series. I've had a few days where that I'm kind of broken free from it, and I'm drawn back into that world, and I kind of wish that I would have just gone right straight to the next book. But I'm going to hold off a little bit before I go to the next book. But that's a good sign, because that means, hey, it didn't burn me out or cause me any kind of problems along those lines. Like, I am excited for the next book, even though this was one of the weaker ones. So overall, would I recommend this book? Yes, I would. Because if you're a fan of the series, if you come this far, you might as well finish it. I mean, do I enjoy the seriousness that this is going to? The less chaotic aspects of Dungeon Crawler Carl seem behind us, and the more serious-driven character work seems to be in the forefront. This seems to be where Matt Dinniman is wanting to go with these characters, and me personally, I'm not a fan of it. I like the strangeness and the weirdness and the overall instability of the AI, of the characters in general, of not knowing what was going to take place in the worlds. But the worlds, the last 2 books have been very underwhelming. They're not, they're not this crazy, chaotic mess that you expect in a Dungeon Crawler Carl book. That's very disappointing. I feel like if there's one thing that Matt Dinniman does kind of suck at, it is world building in that regard. It's great with character work, but as far as making these worlds, especially in the last 2 books, very intriguing, no, he's failed miserably on that one. I personally would say. But as far as overall, I enjoyed my time with it, but I'm also glad that it's over. So let's go to the second book that I actually finished. Now, I won't spend a lot of time on this book. Here Be Dragons. Now, Here Be Dragons, I like this book. But before I go to what I loved and what I hated of this book, which surprisingly enough is very little on the hated aspect, that being said, I was not in the right headspace for this book. This is a book, and the reason why I chose this specific book over other books was because I wanted to go from I had just come from a very serious book that was very Law and Order like. I wanted something that would make me laugh and something that I could just read at my own pace. That is exactly what I got from Here Be Dragons. I got that. But for some reason, my eyes kept, it was kind of like that meme where the guy's walking with his girlfriend, but he's turning around and he's looking at what's behind him. That's the way I was overall when it come to other books while reading this book. I was like, I want to go and read that book now. I want to go read that book. And so I spent most of my time being like, oh man, I feel like I'm kind of bogged down in this book, even though I was enjoying my time in this book. And that was kind of an odd space that I was in. And I don't feel like I gave this book a fair shake. Even though I will rate it somewhat high. I think this is a book that I would recommend. It's very Pratchett-like. It's very Discworld-like. This would fit very well in the Discworld series. Truly would. You have characters that don't take themselves very seriously, worlds that don't take themselves very seriously, but yet are really grounded all at the same time. You have fun characters, side characters. You have really interesting enemies, antagonists of the series. And of course, you've got dragons. I mean, you've got dragons, which, to be fair, we didn't get it maybe enough of them. But it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed the world. It was like one of those kind of worlds where that it would go from like space to space, different kind of aspects of the world. And you really didn't get like an overall in-depth view of the world, but you did get a quick premise, enough where that you could see where it was going and really take value in the world around you, but not enough to really entrance you into the world itself. So, really, the things that I hated about this book, I'm trying to think of a single thing I hated about this book. I don't have really anything negative to say about it, to be honest. Maybe this would have been great in a series. I kind of feel like it would have been great in a series. I really, truly do. If you like Terry Pratchett, you will enjoy Here Be Dragons. I fully and totally recommend this book. It has a great protagonist, great antagonist, and it's got great side characters to go along with it. Memorable side characters. So, overall, I would rate this probably about a 3.5. I think this is a book that would have been a clear 4-star read for me if I'd have been in the right headspace. That's the way I currently feel towards it. But overall, guys, those are Dungeon Crawler Carl Review, Butcher's Masquerade, and Here Be Dragons. Brief review, but recommend both these books. Look forward to continuing in Dungeon Crawler Carl, and look forward to the author of Here Be Dragons. If he writes anything else, I would definitely be checking that out as well. But overall, guys, let me know what y'all think in the comments down below if y'all read any of these books. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and y'all take care.